Hi there, welcome to Vinyasa Flow Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua. For today's practice, you may want to have around 2 yoga blocks, a strap, and a blanket. And let's actually start sitting in Hero's Pose. Today is going to be a physical practice of quite a bit of shoulders and extension. So if you're feeling a bit rounded in the shoulders, we're going to be opening up the chest and opening up the breath, among other things. And in the past few days, we've been talking about our intentions, or maybe you call them resolutions for the new year, things that you may want to be calling into your life experience. And I've been reading quite a bit about the law of attraction, and I wanted to share a little bit more from the book, The Amazing Power of Deliberate Intent, Living the Art of Allowing. When you begin to understand the vibrational nature of thought and the way the law of attraction responds to it, you then begin to understand how it is that you are the creator of your own reality. Everything about your life. Just a second, I think I'm reading what I read on Tuesday. Let's take 2. So your thriving will be immediately enhanced in the moment you understand and begin to utilize your own emotional guidance system. You are focusing upon something all day, every day, and that focus is causing an activation of vibration within you. Most people do not realize that they are vibrational beings living in a vibrational universe. And most are not aware that they are vibrationally attracting their own reality. And so most people make little or no effort to deliberately focus thoughts. Everyone and everything in the universe is consciousness, and all consciousness is vibration or energy. If you're sensitive to the way you feel, you can sense the discord between the vibration of your inner being and your in this moment vibration. In fact, that is what your emotions always indicate. An uplifting feeling emotion, like joy, indicates vibrational alignment between the perspective of your inner being and you. A difficult emotion, like sadness, indicates vibrational misalignment between your inner being and you. No desire, no matter what the subject, can manifest into your experience as long as there is a vibrational difference between the desire and your practiced vibration. You have to practice yourself into vibrational alignment with your desires before they will be realized in your experience. That's the reason that we refer to your emotions as your emotional guidance system, for they help you recognize the relationship between the vibration of your desire and the vibration of your offering. No other factors need to be considered in the achievement of anything that you want, like what others think, what they have lived, what they are living, what you have lived in the past, even what you are living right now. None of that has any bearing whatsoever on your ability to achieve the object of your desires. Only the vibrational relativity between your desire and you is relevant. So let's begin with a check-in and observe, what are you carrying right now? Starting with the physical body as you're sitting still, maybe close your eyes. And notice the sensations in your body. Observe your physical state. Notice the quality of your breath as you breathe naturally. Observe your energetic state. Notice your mind, any kinds of thoughts, the activity of your mind. And any emotions that you're feeling right now. Observing your mental and emotional state, an indicator of what you're vibrating in this moment. Let's start to deepen the breath. As you inhale through the nose, feel the breath expand in your lungs, in your belly. As you exhale through the mouth, feel free to release any sound if that helps to just get energy flowing. And just like that, continue to slow your breath down and begin to narrow your attention to something that you feel appreciation for at this moment. Anything that you appreciate. And then bring your focus to what it is you would like to intend to create in your experience through this practice of yoga. Are there particular intentions that you're reaching for in your life as a whole? And it's important to have an attitude of non-attachment, so we're not gripping and creating resistance between your intention and your inner being. So one way to do that is to offer up our efforts. So call to mind someone or something that you could dedicate today's practice to. And with that, let's open up the practice, chanting together 3 ohms, creating resonance. Inhale deeply. As you bow in, taking a moment to honor your inner guidance and to adjust your movements and postures and practice in alignment to what's true for you and your intention. Let's start to deepen the breath, if you can, with the lips closed, beginning to help warm up the body. As you softly narrow the back of your throat, also invite a gentle whispering sound to the breath, slowing the breath down to an even length in and out. So this is the practice of Ujjayi Pranayama, victorious breathing technique. Use it to steady your mind as you're listening to that sound. And let's make our way down onto hands and knees, tabletop position, where you stack your shoulders above your wrists, spreading your fingers flat, and step your knees a couple inches behind your hips. Beginning cat-cow, listen to your breath. While you inhale, glide your chest forward, roll your shoulders back and down, and look up, cow pose. While you exhale, contract your abdomen, slowly dropping your head as you round your back, cat pose. Then again, inhale the heart forward, gazing up, cow pose. Exhale, contracting your belly, dropping your head, cat pose. And just like that, take another 3 to 4 more cycles of cat-cow or Betalasana on your own. Starting to warm up your spine, neck, and shoulders. At the end of your next exhalation, start to bend the elbows back, then glide to the floor, chin, chest, belly, and set your right ear on the ground as you place a block or your blanket just to the right side of your skull. We're going to begin placing your right shoulder in extension. So with your left hand on the ground beside the left shoulder, slide your right arm straight out to the right with a palm face down on the floor. And press the ground away with your left hand as you start to roll over slowly onto your right side. Now placing the right side of your head on your block or your blanket. Take a moment to slide your right shoulder blade further down your back, helping to lengthen space along the right side of your neck. Be gentle with yourself as you notice the sensations, especially around the front of your right shoulder, guiding you to how much you need to lean back order to gently begin opening it up. You might step the left foot behind you on the ground. You might wrap the left arm behind you. Let's tune into 3 more deep breaths here. Then slowly begin to roll onto your stomach again. And use your second block. Place it on the left side of your skull. Plant your right hand on the floor beside your right shoulder, pressing the ground away with it. Slide the left arm out to the left, palm face down, and begin to roll over slowly onto your left side. Placing the left side of your head on your pillow, block, or blanket. And notice the sensations here along the left side of your inner shoulder. You might step the right foot behind you. You might wrap the right arm behind you. Observe if it needs to be different than the first side. 3 more breaths. As you're broadening your collarbones here and opening your chest, really take the time to expand the heart space with each inhalation. Your next exhalation, gently roll onto your stomach. And let's enter Sphinx pose. Placing your elbows on the ground as you lift your chest so that your shoulders stack above your elbows. Slide your knees close together and spread your toes, firming down through every toenail. Stretch your legs actively behind you so that your knees are off the ground. Keep your pelvis on the floor, and with your hands still, isometrically drag your hands towards your hips to help roll your shoulder heads back and press them down. Allow a few more breaths right across the chest, especially expanding there. Lengthen the back of your neck so you're looking slightly down, and then relax the eyes, relax the mouth. Keep this active energy of rooting down through all of your toes and stretching back to your legs. And slide the heels of your palms back alongside your floating ribs so that your elbows are now bent at 90 degrees right above your wrists. Hug your elbows close to your sides. And as you inhale, coil your chest up into a gentle cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Keep rooting down through all of your toenails. And as you exhale, tucking your toes, engage your abdomen and press up to plank. Then lift your hips back to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths, pedaling your feet in place, maybe shaking your head in any direction. Loosening up your body any way that you need to here in Adho Mukha Svanasana. Then bend your knees, lift your hips high, empty the breath as you look in front of your hands. On empty breath, walk or lightly jump to the top of your mat in a forward fold. With your feet hips width apart, parallel to each other, bend your knees at least a little bit. Press your fingertips either on your legs, blocks, or the ground. And inhale to stretch your spine forward parallel to the floor in Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bow towards your legs in Uttanasana. From down to your feet, inhale, sweep your arms forward and rise to stand with your arms overhead in Urdhva Hastasana while coiling your chest up. Exhale, join your hands to meet at your crown, then at your heart center in Padasana. Allow a moment to re-envision or restate your intention for this practice. Emptying this breath. Let's begin our first series of Surya Namaskar, B, sun salutations. Inhale, sweep your arms up to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hinge from your hips into Uttanasana. Place your fingertips alongside your heels and inhale, step your left knee back to Anjaneyasana, keeping your hands down as you look up. Hold your breath as you step to plank pose. Exhale, lower your knees, chest, then chin, sticking your tailbone up in Ashtangasana. Inhale, slide your belly to the ground, root the tops of your feet in Cobra, Bhujangasana. Exhale, lift your hips back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, step your left foot beside your left thumb. Lower your right knee, gaze up in Anjaneyasana. Exhale, step your right foot forward and bow. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and rise to Urdhva Hastasana with a gentle back bend. Exhale your palms down to your heart center. One more time, second side, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Plant your fingertips, inhale, step your right knee back, gaze up. Holding your breath, step into plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest and chin in Ashtangasana. Inhale, slide to the ground in Cobra, Bhujangasana. Exhale, lift your hips to Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, step your right foot beside your right thumb. Lower your left knee and gaze up. Exhale, step your left foot forward and bow. Inhale, sweep your arms up to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Padasana, hands at your heart. Second series of sun salutations is Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Plant your fingertips on your legs, your blocks to the floor. Inhale, lengthen to Ardha Uttanasana. Step into plank pose, but this time, exhale as you glide forward. Hug your elbows to your side ribs in Chaturanga Dandasana. Then inhale to Cobra or upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Let your body be still here for 3 deep breaths, steadying your gaze, your drishti, on one spot. When you've emptied your third breath, walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Padasana. Once more, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Either step to plank, or if you usually jump, lightly jump to Chaturanga. Inhale, Bhujangasana or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Pause there, steady gaze, rebalancing 3 breaths. After the third, walk or float to the front of your mat. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Padasana. Last sun salutation series, Surya Namaskar B. So with your inner edges of your big toes touching, inhale, bend your knees together to touch. Maybe graze the floor with your fingertips and keep your hips that low as you raise the arms, gliding the shin bones back, Utkatasana. Exhale, shift forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Step to plank or float to Chaturanga. Continue to your own Vinyasa. From Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhale, gently step the foot forward beside your right thumb and lower your left heel. Inhale, rise to stand in Warrior One. Exhale, lower to plank. Continue into your Vinyasa. Adho Mukha Svanasana, side 2. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale the foot beside your left thumb. Spin your right heel down. Inhale to Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale into your Vinyasa. Once again, let's cultivate stillness and steady focus with the eyes, breath, whole body. 3 breaths. When you've emptied the third, walk or float to the front of your mat. Feet touching. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Utkatasana, knees together. Exhale, Padasana. Let's take Surya Namaskar B one last time. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Step or float back into your Vinyasa. From Adho Mukha Svanasana, inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale the foot forward, drop your left heel. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale into your Vinyasa. Second side from Adho Mukha. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale the foot forward, drop the right heel. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, Vinyasa. Three breaths in stillness at Adho Mukha Svanasana. Sensing your physical being, your energetic and mental, emotional. Long, even breaths. When you finish the third, walk or float to the top. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Bend your knees. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Padasana. Separate the feet, hips distance, parallel to each other. And bring your hands behind you to clasp, continuing with bringing the shoulders in extension. Now you could also hold a strap between the hands if that's easier to be able to lift the arms away from your lower back. Roll the shoulders down and inhale, lift your heart, gaze up. Exhale, hinge from your hips and cultivate the feeling of a flat back. So if needed, bend your knees and completely drop your skull. Stretching the arms forward, open up the fronts of your shoulders. With a little bend in your elbows, also lift your shoulders away from your neck. Maybe shake and nod the head or flutter out the lips if there's tension in the jaw. Just about 3 more breaths here. Choose to either take another Vinyasa, cat-cow, or step back directly to downward facing dog. When you arrive in downward dog, inhale, raise your right leg behind you, keeping your hips squared or level to each other. Bend your right knee towards your nose and exhale, round your back by lifting your belly, shifting into plank. Step the foot forward beside your right thumb into a high lunge, so you're in the ball of your left foot. Then inhale, rise up to crescent. Backstroking your arms. Again, interlace your fingers and drag the knuckles of your hands down your lower back and maybe as far down as your left hamstring. Be aware of your pelvic bowl. Try to keep it upright, not overarching the lower back. So drop your tailbone down, slightly lift your frontal hip bones, and continue squaring your hips by isometrically dragging your feet towards each other as you start to lift the heart and gently your gaze. Breathe wide into the front of your lungs, especially here. One more deep breath. Now, as you rise up, spin your left heel down and align your right heel to intersect the arch of your left foot. Grab your strap. Let's prepare for a variation of bound side angle pose. Taking the strap in your left hand, roll your right outer hip under you, bend the front knee right on top of the heel, aiming it towards the pinky toe as you firm the top of your left thigh bone back and root firmly down to the left outer foot. Now take the strap in your left hand and bring the long tail to hang outside of your right thigh, bringing the left shoulder in extension. Slide your hips towards the back wall and reach your right hand towards the front wall. Keep lengthening the right side of your torso as you either place the right forearm on your right thigh, rolling the chest towards the sky, or bring the right arm on the inner side of your right thigh and catch hold of the other end of the strap, pressing the right arm and your right leg against each other as you walk your hands closer together, and maybe drop the strap if you're able to clasp your fingers or hold on to your left wrist without shortening the right side of your lower back. Think of directing your tailbone towards your inner left heel as you stretch the crown of your head towards the front wall. Now set your gaze and let's allow 5 more deep breaths here in Baddha Parshvakonasana. Gaze at your right foot. Set the right hand down to the right side of it, and then crawl your right hand either on a block of the floor 6 inches ahead out to the right, entering half moon pose. Drag your left foot forward and flex it off the floor, and maybe raise the left arm up. Now you can continue to bring your left shoulder in extension if your balance and breath feels stable as you bend your left knee towards your belly, entering Ardha Chandra Chapasana, a sideways standing bow. Catching the top of your left foot with your left hand, kicking the foot away as you pull it towards you while rolling your left shoulder back. Keep tacking your right hip crease towards the rear wall. Now focus your gaze and steady your mental focus for about 5 more breaths. Prepare to land warrior 2. Bend your right knee slowly and step your left foot gently to the ground towards the rear of your mat. Realigning right heel to arch of left foot, open your arms and steady your gaze just past your right hand. 5 slow breaths. Virabhadrasana 2. 1. On your next exhale, lower your hands to the floor and choose to either take a vinyasa, cat-cow, or step back into downward dog directly. Slowing the breath down again. Notice how you feel right now. On your next inhale, keep your hips leveled and raise your left leg behind you. As you exhale, lift your belly high and round forward into plank before softly stepping the left foot beside your left thumb and staying high on the ball of your right foot. Inhale, rise up to crescent lunge. Backstroke your arms and interlace the opposite thumb on top, tracing the knuckles of your hands down your lower back and maybe down your right hamstring. Slightly lift your frontal hip bones and anchor your tailbone downward so as not to overarch and shorten the lower back. Bring the back bend into the area right under your shoulder blades as you peel the shoulders open wide across your chest for 2 to 3 more breaths. Keep squaring your hips. Spin your right heel to the ground and align your left heel to intersect the arch of your right foot. Take the strap in your right hand and wrap the long tail behind your back so it's hanging to the outside of your left thigh. Bend your left knee right above your left heel and firm your outer right foot into the earth. Roll your left outer hip under you and firm the top of your right thigh bone back. Now glide your hips sideways towards your back wall as you reach your spine towards the front wall. Then either place your left forearm on your left thigh and rotate your chest towards the sky, or reach the left hand on the inner side of your left thigh to find the other end of the strap. Then walk your hands as close together as you can, pressing your left arm and left leg against each other. You might drop the strap if you're able to clasp your fingers or hold on to your right wrist without impinging on your lower back. Direct your tailbone towards your right heel as you continue to lengthen your torso towards the front wall. Landing your eyes, soften and deepen the breath. 5 more. Bound side angle pose. Baddha Parshvakonasana. Now gaze down at your left foot and place your left fingertips on the left side of it. Crawl the left hand on a block of the floor about 6 inches ahead of that and drag your right foot forward, entering Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. If your body and breath feel stable here, you might enter Ardha Chandra Chapasana, bending the right knee towards your belly, catching the top of your right foot, kicking the foot away as you pull it towards you, thus bringing your right shoulder in extension. Drawing your hips towards the back wall and your spine towards the front wall. Steadying your gaze. Tune into 5 more deep breaths. Take your time to bend the left knee and softly step the right foot towards the rear of your mat, entering Virabhadrasana 2. Land your gaze just past your left hand for 5 breaths here. On an exhale, lower your hands and choose to take a vinyasa or not back to downward facing dog. Let's pause for 3 breaths. Observing what feels present for you. On an inhale, raise your right leg behind you. And this time, bend the knee and rotate the thigh open at the hip. Stay here, circle the leg, or flip it over into Wild Thing. Stepping the ball of your right foot on the ground outside the left edge of your mat as you bend your right knee and lift your pelvis, dropping your head back. Come back to 3-legged downward facing dog and re-square your hips. Inhale, press the instep of your right foot back. Exhale, cross your right knee to touch your left elbow as you stack your shoulders over your wrists. Step the right foot beside your right thumb in a high lunge. Inhale, rise up to crescent again. But this time as you isometrically scissor your legs, keeping your hips evenly facing forward, cup the top of your right thigh with your right hand. Let's prepare to twist. In twisting side angle. Extend your spine forward as you inhale. Keep your hips hugging your midline so you don't twist at your pelvis while you exhale to turn the chest to the right. Lower the left hand on a block of the floor inside of your right leg and raise the right arm, or cross the left elbow outside of your right thigh. And either join your hands in prayer or open your arms apart. Land your gaze and let's stay for 5 slow breaths. As you inhale, press the instep of your left foot back and stretch the crown of your head down the midline of your mat. As you exhale, hug your outer hips still and keep spinning your rib cage. On your next exhale, look at your right foot. Frame it with your fingertips on blocks of the floor. And straighten your legs as you bow towards your inner right shin in a wide version of pyramid pose. Scissor your right hip back and draw your heart forward. Parsvottanasana. Optional to lift the ball of your right foot flexed, isometrically dragging the right heel back. Activating a deeper stretch in your right hamstring if you need it. Plant your hands and let's step into downward facing dog. Pause there for 1 full breath. Inhale, raise your left leg, bend the knee and turn out the thigh at the hip. Stay here, circle the leg, or slowly flip it over into Wild Thing. Landing the ball of your left foot on the ground on the right side of your mat. Bending your left knee as you keep your right leg straight, lift your pelvis high and drop your head back. Slowly come back to 3-legged downward facing dog. Inhale, press the instep of your left foot towards the rear wall. Exhale, cross the left knee to touch your right elbow with shoulders over wrists. Step your left foot beside your left thumb. Inhale, rise to crescent lunge. Use your left hand to cup the top of your left thigh as we prepare to twist. Inhale, lengthen forward. And at your waistline, exhale, twist to the left. Offering the same variation as you practiced on the first side. Steady your gaze. 5 deep breaths. Parita Parshvakonasana. Gaze down at your left foot and lower your hands on blocks or the floor to frame it. Scissor your left outer hip back as you straighten your left leg and bow with a slight lift in your chest. Wide pyramid pose. If your left hamstring feels pretty open, you could lift the ball of your left foot flexed and isometrically drag that heel back as you extend your heart forward.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
This time, as you set the left foot flat, step your right foot forward, and let's come to the top of your mat. Flipping your palms face up under the soles of your feet in Padahastasana, stretching your outer wrists. Have your toes meet the inner creases of your wrists. You might bend the knees to allow that. Then inhale, press your heart through the gates of your arms. Exhale, fold, and relax your neck. Maybe bend the elbows apart so that you can lift the shoulders away from your neck. 3 more breaths. And take your time and step into plank again. Feet together, shoulders over the wrists, fingers spread wide. Look at your right wall and roll to the outer edge of your left foot flex for side plank. If you need more balance support, step your right foot in front of you and bend the knee so your right toes are facing your right wall like the kickstand of a bike. Flex your left foot and press the ground away. If you're stacking your feet and feel pretty stable, here's an option for another shoulder and extension. Bend the right knee like you're trying to kick your own glute, and use the right hand to catch your outer right foot, kicking it away as you pull it towards you. Vashisthasana. Two more breaths. Slowly come back to hands and knees. Spin your fingertips to turn out to the sides of your mat, maybe the rear of your mat, and let's move slowly through one cat-cow pose. Then point your index fingers forward and stack your shoulders over your wrists, entering full plank with your feet together touching. Look at your left wall, roll to the outer edge of your right foot flexed. If you need a kickstand, step the left foot midway up your mat on the left edge of your mat so your left knee is bent towards the left wall. Otherwise, maybe you're stacking your feet both flexed. You might opt to bring the left shoulder in extension by bending the left knee behind you, holding the outer foot and kicking it away as you pull it. Notice how similar this is to Ardha Chandra Chapasana. Steadying your gaze, let's tune into another 4 or 5 breaths in Vashisthasana. Gently come back to plank pose. Glide forward through Chaturanga and lower all the way face down. Rest your forehead for a moment, 3 breaths. Let's prepare for one round of Dhanurasana bow pose. Last few shoulders and extension postures. Slide your knees close together. Press your pubic bone into the floor as you bend your knees and catch your outer or inner feet with your hands. Kick your feet away and pull them towards you, lifting your knees as you coil your chest up for 5 to 10 breaths before lowering to rest. Support your lower back by not splaying your knees apart, wider than your hips distance. Invite full breaths into your chest, into your belly, stimulating digestion here. When you've let it go, be still and relax for 3 breaths. Then please press up to stand on your knees for camel pose, Ustrasana. This is our last back bend with shoulders in extension. Separate your knees hips width apart. You might place a skinny width of a block to firmly hug between your knees and thighs if you need lower back support. Tuck your toes behind you, or if you're feeling really open in the fronts of the shoulders by now, maybe keep the tops of the toes flat on the floor. Back choke your arms and place your hands on your lower back with your fingertips pointing down. Keep your pelvis right above your knees the whole posture. Draw your tailbone towards your inner knees and lift your back ribs. Right under the shoulder blades, create the back bend as you inhale to lift your heart and peel your shoulders behind you, hugging your elbows closer together. 5 to 10 breaths, Ustrasana. You might lower one hand to hold a heel behind it and then switch, or hold both heels. Feel the fullness of each breath. When you're ready to come out, place your hands on your lower back, slowly lift your spine, and find a comfortable way to sit in stillness. Maybe resting your hands both at the center of your chest. Let's prepare for a seated spinal twist. Extend your left leg in front of you and step your right foot on the ground in front of your right hip, or cross it outside of your left knee and maybe bend your left knee. Sitting tall with both sitting bones grounded, place your right hand behind your pelvis. As you raise your left arm, press into the ground with every part of your body touching it. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist to your right and hold your right leg with your left arm, or hook the elbow outside of that thigh. Keep breathing and twisting. Two more breaths. As you empty this breath, unwind your spine, and let's switch sides. Right leg forward, left foot on the floor in front of the hip, or crossed outside your right knee. Maybe bend your right knee. Place your left hand behind your pelvis, and as you raise your right arm, sit taller and inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. Lower your right arm. Maybe hook your elbow outside your thigh. As you empty this breath, unwind your spine and straighten both of your legs forward for Paschimottanasana. Sitting tall, flex your feet. Maybe grab a strap and place it around the balls of your feet as an extension of your arms. Otherwise, you might walk your hands down your legs and eventually clasp your big toes. Root your sitting bones down and inhale, sit tall, relax the shoulders. Keep your throat and heart space open as you exhale to hinge little by little from your hips. Find a slight lift in your chest as you bow deeper. For about 4 more breaths in Paschimottanasana. Inhale, root down through your pelvis, begin to lift your chest, rising all the way up. Please find a comfortable place to sit so that we can practice a calming breath work to help us tune inward for Shavasana and prepare for meditation. Alternate nostril breathing helps to balance the left and right hemispheres of your brain and connect you with your inner guidance, your intuition. Rest your left hand on your lap. Maybe bring the thumb and first fingers to touch to help focus. With your right hand, stick out your thumb, pinky, and ring fingers, making Vishnu Mudra. Continue to breathe just through your nose. Long, soft breaths. You might eventually close your eyes. We'll use the right thumb to close your right nostril as you breathe in through the left. We'll use the right pinky and ring fingers to close the left nostril. Alternate nostril breathing. Nodi Shodhana Pranayama. Let's practice 3 cycles together, then 2 cycles on your own. Prepare by exhaling completely. Then hold your breath. Close right nostril with thumb. Inhale left. Hold the breath. Close left. Exhale right slowly. Hold the breath. Inhale right. Hold the breath. Close right. Exhale left. Hold the breath. Second round. Inhale left for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Close left. Exhale right. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Inhale right. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Close right. Exhale left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Third cycle. Inhale left for 6. Hold for 3. Close left. Exhale right for 6. Hold for 3. Inhale right for 6. Hold for 3. Close right. Exhale left for 6. Hold for 3. Continue 2 more cycles. Take your time finishing at your pace. When you do, sit still, breathe naturally, and observe what you're experiencing. Then gently begin to lower your body to the floor, splaying out your legs so your feet are wider apart than your hips distance, turning the palms up by your sides as you let your shoulders rest on the ground. Close your eyes and sense the natural flow of your breath. Shavasana. I invite you to rest in stillness a little longer with your eyes closed. And as you stay here, begin to scan your body again. Notice how it feels now. Little by little, starting with small parts of your body, begin to wake it up with gentle movement. Then slowly turn over onto your right side and rest your head, pausing there to observe your breath. And tune into your energy body. Notice how you feel now energetically. Pressing into the ground, lift your body up And please find a comfortable way to sit for 5 minutes in meditation. Evenly grounded to your hips, tall to your spine, and relaxed in your whole body. Place your hands in any gesture or mudra to support your practice. Close your eyes or steady a soft gaze ahead on one spot. Let's begin. Breathing naturally. Place your awareness on a focal point of your choice. The sensations of the breath, a sound that's consistent, or a visual point of focus that's non-distracting. If your attention wanders, gently re-guide it back to your object of focus. Tune in to how you're feeling now mentally and emotionally. You might place a hand at your heart, a hand at your belly, just giving yourself loving kindness and gratitude for stepping into your practice today. Remember that at any point in time, whether it be a New Year's Day or not, each new breath is an opportunity to reset your focus. Take a moment to offer gratitude to anything you'd like to appreciate now. Then remind yourself of what your intention was for this practice. Call to mind to whom or what you dedicated today's practice. And let's close chanting 3 ohms. Inhale. Bow in, honoring the light within you. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.